Have I mentioned that we enjoy the first Castlevania around these parts? Well, I do. We do. You know what else rules? Super Mario Brothers. Boom, boom. You've got chocolate in my peanut butter. You've got deja vu on my YouTube. A while ago, we poured over Mangravy's Super Mario Castlevania hybrid. Now it's sequel, Mangravy. Still love the name. Still digging that intro. This time around, things are a bit tougher. There's also a whole hell of a lot more Castlevania in this Super Mario World ROM hack. The first felt more like a red-hatted plumber title with a few Belmont sprinkles, a terrific balance. Here, there are baddies and bosses from the Konami franchise everywhere. Some work better than others, but overall, this is a good-looking, entertaining experience. Graphically inspired with fluid, competent level design and superb presentation. Castlemania, a couple of great fan-made ROM hacks that everyone should at the very least try out. The opening and map screen are very similar to those in the original title. Mr. Mustachio still retains that classic 8-bit Super Mario Bros. Look.
A figure that is sexy, slim, tight, excellent legs.
He can now sprint the way he can in later titles. Speaking of which, I don't know if this is a me issue, but running across single gaps feels a bit busted. I tried it both ways. Neither seemed to reliably work. Whatever, it's a nitpick. The first stage has a bit of a Rondo of Blood thing going on aesthetically, only with snow instead of fire. Bloodlines gets represented to the next level, starting with some challenging platforming, followed by a few tricky aquatic hijinks. Spikes insta-kill our main man, so a lot of these sequences can get pretty damn stressful. There's a high octane pace to a lot of these earlier areas that'll keep most experienced players on their toes, though sometimes new traps and hazards aren't always introduced in the smoothest of ways. Water can't be touched, like, at all. I get it, but this vertical auto-scrolling bit in the second stage does very little to ease the participant into its gimmick. Spikes doing all the damage is also a common thing in a lot of old school video games, but it was pretty jarring to die immediately here in a game with that Mario veneer. You know, because it's not a common thing in that official Nintendo series. A lot of these bits were first introduced on the original Castlemania, insta-kill spikes, this log bat boss, the tingly toos. The difference is that I found that one better balanced with its hijinks. In other words, this one's out to get ya. Traps for first timers are everywhere. Knowing which enemies can be taken down is a minor problem as well. Quite a few of the Castlevania creatures appear to suit the Mario visuals, but some can't be destroyed with projectiles or be touched at all. It's fine, but yeah, you kinda just need to know which ones to avoid. Boos have now been sprite swapped to eyeball creatures. Koopas have a skelly skin, or rather no skin, been skinned, lizard skinnered. Eyeball traps from the Game Boy adventures appear in some clever inner castle stretches. It's all so good. Mummies the Bat. This thing, hey, how about the Cyclops from the third NES Castlevania? One thing that takes me out of a lot of ROM hacks is when frivolous assets from other franchises appear, seemingly with no rhyme or reason. Here, in Castlemania II, it works because this is a blend of two recognizable properties, but more importantly, a lot of the sprites have been redrawn to suit the relatively cartoony Super Mario Mario style. It's tasteful, and the majority of the bosses kick some serious ass with patterns that are instantly identifiable. These dudes are extremely entertaining to come up against, all but one. Alright, I've already said it, this sequel contains a lot more Castlevania. From a lengthy drop into the catacombs to familiar backgrounds, enemies, music, Easter eggs, stage transitions. It's drippin' Dracula from the get-go. I dug it until the final battle, or battles, which I won't be showing here for spoiler reasons. Clearly, Mangravy has a sense of humor. I appreciate it, but much like this channel, aiming for comedy will automatically alienate a certain amount of the demographic. There's a bit of chit-chat introducing the final stretch that didn't land with me. I'll show it after the end card. This isn't my biggest problem. I can ignore a few silly jokes. No. I have an issue with the last boss. What a disappointment, especially compared to the other big bads. Items drop outside the fight arena, meaning that they're impossible to pick up, and the speed at which it fires off projectiles is borderline broken. I'm not boasting, but I'd consider myself a competent Mario player. This entire game took me less than 40 minutes to blast through, but I've got an axe to grind with the monster at the end. It's big, quick, and unforgivingly difficult. I'll leave it at that. The platforming can be fairly tricky, but the power-ups are generous. Mushrooms and fire flowers, of course, but check this out. That's right, axes and boomerang crosses from Castlevania. That's all I could find, but there could be more. Mangravy's known for soaking their games in secrets after all. What's more, Mario can take an extra hit. In Super Mario Bros. And the 16-bit source cart, he went from costumed to small when struck. Here, it's perk to big, then mini sprite. Boom, boom, boom. It dampens the blow a bit. This is truly an exceptional experience from beginning to, well, that nasty encounter near the end. From 2D Castlevania to some of the Iga search action titles, this thing references the killer Konami franchise well. Saving between stages is a nice returning addition, as is the absence of a timer, branching paths, gorgeous visuals, and an incredibly well implemented soundtrack. This is more treat than trick, a nearly perfect sequel, a superb Halloween experience. Next time on this channel, more Castlevania, more fan game love, so stay tuned.
Can you be someone?
Okay, early to bed, early to rise makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's why you're wiser than me. It's Stephen.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
I'm Eitan.
Hi, I'm Fred. Hi, my name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do smoke.
I'm not afraid to get sand on my tuxedo if you're not afraid to let the wind mess your hair up a little bit when I take the top down.
Perhaps even a nice bath with some champagne.